Milo sat at the edge of his bed, staring out the small window of the space station. Velar Prime spun slowly below, covered in swirling green clouds and tall mountains. The moon's surface was dry and rough, but the view was beautiful. It was peaceful, at least for now. The station was quiet, except for the soft hum of machines and the gentle buzz of lights overhead. Milo liked the silence. It helped him focus on his research. He was one of the youngest human assistants at the station, and he had worked hard to earn his spot here. His roommate, Tira, was not human. She was a Scifi, a tall, silver-skinned alien with bright glowing eyes and soft patterns on her skin that changed colors based on her emotions. She was quiet most of the time, just like Milo. They shared a small living space and kept to themselves. It was not friendship, but it was peaceful. Milo was writing notes on his data pad when a loud alarm broke the silence. A red light flashed across the ceiling. Biohazard alert. All crew must remain in their assigned quarters until further notice, said the calm voice of the station AI. Milo jumped to his feet and checked the screen on the wall. The alert was real. No warning. No explanation. The door locked with a heavy click. He was trapped inside the room. Tira stood by her side of the room, holding a book. She was staring at the wall, her face calm, but her skin patterns flickering faster than usual. That only happened when she was nervous. What's going on? Milo asked. Tira looked at him, but did not speak at first. Then she gave a short answer. It's mating season. Milo blinked. What? Tira turned away, her eyes avoiding his. It's a Scifi thing. We have a season. It started today. I thought the station would warn you. Milo was confused. What does that have to do with the lockdown? Tira placed her book on the desk and sat down slowly. Her voice was steady, but her skin glowed faintly blue now. When mating season starts, our bodies release energy and chemical signals. It can cause problems in shared spaces, usually. Scifi are separated during this time, but now we are locked in together. Milo didn't know what to say. He had read basic information about the Scifi species before joining the station. They were peaceful and intelligent, known for their long memory and deep emotions. But he had skipped most of the biology part. It hadn't seemed important at the time. So we just stay here until the alert ends? He asked. Yes. Tira said. We wait. Hours passed. Milo tried to focus on his work, but the air felt strange. Warmer, heavy, even though the temperature showed normal. Tira sat across the room, breathing slowly. Her eyes stayed shut, and her hands rested on her knees. She seemed calm, but Milo noticed small things. Her skin was brighter now. The markings pulsed like a soft wave. She was not sick, but she was definitely not acting like her normal self. Milo checked the station systems again, but the alert had no updates. He looked through the station's database, searching Scifi mating season. The information was limited. Most of the files were restricted or vague. One note stood out. Avoid close contact with Scifi individuals during active cycles. Pheromones may affect other species. That made Milo nervous. He moved to the far side of the room and sat down. The space was small. 2 beds, 1 table, a shared bathroom, and a narrow window. There was no way to avoid being near each other. Tira opened her eyes and looked at him. Her voice was soft. I will not hurt you, but it may be hard for me to stay calm for long. I'm trying. Milo nodded slowly. I believe you. What do you need? She thought for a moment. Space. Quiet. I can manage this for now. Milo stood up and backed toward the far wall. He didn't know what else to do. The station had trained him in science, tools, research, and even first aid. But not this. The hours crawled by. Milo tried to sleep, but he couldn't. The room felt warmer again. Not from heat, but from something else. His heart beat faster than usual. His thoughts were cloudy. He watched Tira from the corner of his eye. Her breathing had changed. Slower, deeper. Her skin was glowing soft gold now, and her hands shook slightly. She was sweating. Even though the air was cool. Tira, he whispered. Are you all right? She nodded, then shook her head. My body is preparing for bonding. It is not something I can control. We're not supposed to be near anyone during this time, especially not someone not of my kind. Milo tried to stay calm. Can I help somehow? Is there something I can do? Tira looked up at him. Her eyes were brighter now, glowing like stars. You can stay still. Stay away. The bond doesn't begin unless we connect. I am fighting it, but the space is small, and your presence is strong. Milo felt guilty. He wasn't doing anything wrong, but he was making it harder for her just by being there. He moved to the edge of the bed and sat with his arms crossed. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He tried to stay still, but even then, he could feel something in the air, like a song without sound, a gentle pull in his chest. He wondered if it was real or just in his mind. Tira stayed quiet for the rest of the night. Her body shimmered in soft light, like moonlight on water. She didn't speak again. Milo didn't sleep. He watched the stars outside the window and waited. The lockdown did not end that night, and the real story was only just beginning. Morning light slipped through the small window of the room. Milo rubbed his tired eyes. He had hardly slept. His mind was full of questions and worry. The strange feeling in the room had not gone away. Tira still sat quietly, her skin glowing softly. She looked tired but calm. Milo wanted to ask her more about the Scifi mating season. He had read what little was in the database, but it was not enough. He needed to understand what was happening to her, what it meant for both of them. Milo, Tira said quietly. Breaking the silence, he looked up. Her eyes were open and calm now, but the strange glow was still there. I know you want to ask. He nodded. Yes, please. Tell me everything you can. Tira took a deep breath. It is hard to explain. The Scifi body is different from yours. We have many chemicals and energies inside us. During the mating season, these become very active. It is like a strong wave that rises inside us. She paused, searching for the right words. The wave changes how we feel, how we think. Our bodies want to find a partner, to connect deeply, not just physically, but with the mind and emotions. It is very important for us. Milo listened carefully. Why is that? Because without the connection, our minds can become unstable. The wave is too strong. It can cause pain or even harm us. Milo felt a chill. He had never heard of such a thing. Humans did not have anything like that, at least not this strong. Does it always happen like this? Milo asked. Tira shook her head. No, usually we live in groups or families during this time. We separate from others to keep safe. We do rituals that help calm the wave. But here, on the station, there is no space to separate. She looked at him with tired eyes. That is why it is difficult for me. Milo nodded slowly. I want to help. What can I do? Tira smiled faintly. Just listen, and do not come close. The wave also sends signals, pheromones that affect others nearby. Milo swallowed hard. What do? They can make others feel strange, nervous or excited, even confused. It is natural, but it can be uncomfortable for humans. Milo took a deep breath. I feel strange already. Is that from the pheromones? Tira looked surprised. It is possible. You are very close. You should try to stay calm. Milo moved to the far side of the room again. It was hard to stay apart. The space was small. He watched her quietly. After a moment, Milo had an idea. He moved to the small table and opened his data pad. He typed quickly, searching for anything about Scifi mating signals or pheromones. The database showed little. Most files were protected or incomplete, but one report caught his eye. It was from a previous mission on Velar Prime. It described how Scifi pheromones affected nearby species, sometimes causing mood changes or physical reactions. The report warned about keeping distance during mating seasons to prevent accidents. Milo read the note carefully. The station AI interrupted with a soft voice. Biohazard alert remains active. All crew must remain in quarters. Estimated lockdown duration unknown. Milo sighed. There was no end in sight. He looked at Tira. She was watching him too. Do you want to talk? He asked. She hesitated, but nodded. Milo sat down near her bed. The space was small but more comfortable than standing. Tira took a deep breath. There's more. The wave is not just physical. It is mental and emotional too. When to Scifi bond. During mating season, they connect their minds, share memories and feelings deeply. Milo's eyes widen. Like what? How? It is difficult to explain. Imagine your thoughts and emotions mixing with someone else's. Not just talking, but feeling what they feel, seeing what they see. Milo shivered. That sounds intense. Tira smiled sadly. It is. The bond helps us survive the season, but it also creates trust and understanding. It is sacred. Milo thought for a moment. So, the bond is more than just mating. Yes, it is about connection, survival, healing. Milo looked at her carefully. What happens if you don't bond? Tira's smile faded. The wave becomes stronger. It can hurt the mind. The body can weaken. Some Scifi do not survive. Milo felt a sudden rush of sympathy. I wish I could do something. Tira reached out a hand. Her skin felt cool but steady. You are helping just by being here. Milo took her hand gently. He felt a faint warmth. For a moment, they sat quietly, holding hands. The room felt less heavy. Suddenly, Tira pulled her hand back quickly. Her skin flashed bright red. Milo saw her eyes widen with surprise. I'm sorry, she said. That was not right. Milo smiled. It is okay. I want to learn. Tira nodded slowly. I will teach you what I can. But you must promise to respect my space. I promise. The day passed slowly. They talked about Scifi culture, their history, and traditions. Milo learned about their cities, built under twin suns, their art of memory sharing, and their deep respect for life. Tira's story was fascinating. She spoke softly, but with pride. Milo was amazed how different and beautiful her world was. As evening came, the station announced a brief communication window. Crew could send messages, but not leave their quarters. Milo sent a message to the control center. He asked for updates on the biohazard and if they could release them soon. The reply came fast. No changes. Lockdown remains. Please stay safe. Milo sighed. He looked at Tira. She was watching the stars again. I don't like being trapped. Milo said honestly. Tira smiled gently. Neither do I, but we must be patient. Milo nodded. Suddenly, the door hatch rattled. The station AI spoke again. Attention. Additional biodata detected. All crew should monitor health carefully. Tira's skin brightened again. Milo felt the strange pull in his chest grow stronger. He realized the mating season was only just beginning. The wave was rising. The small room felt warmer now, though the temperature monitor showed normal numbers. Milo sat on the edge of his bed, feeling a strange energy pulsing through the air. He rubbed his arms and tried to shake the uneasy feeling that was growing. Inside him, across the room, Tira paced slowly. Her silver skin shimmered in soft waves, changing colors from pale blue to soft gold and back again. She looked restless, her hands moving nervously over the table. Milo stood and watched her. Are you okay? He asked carefully. Tira stopped pacing and looked at him. Her bright eyes held a mixture of worry and something Milo could not name. I'm not okay. The wave is growing stronger. Milo swallowed hard. What do you mean? Tira moved closer, but still kept a careful distance. The mating season brings changes inside me. It is natural for Scifi, but difficult for me here. My body and mind want to bond. But you are not Scifi. Milo felt his heart race. Bond? What kind of bond? Tira took a deep breath. The bond is more than touch. It is a connection of minds and emotions. When the Scifi bond during mating season, they share memories and feelings. It is how we survive. Milo's eyes widened. You mean you connect with someone else's mind? Yes, she said. It is powerful, but also dangerous if not controlled. Milo looked around the small room. Dangerous. How? Tira's skin flickered bright red for a moment. The bond can overwhelm the mind. If the connection is not right, it can cause pain or confusion. That is why we usually bond only with chosen partners. Milo nodded slowly. And now, you have no partner? No, Tira said quietly. I am alone here. The station does not understand sorority needs. And now, with this lockdown, I have no space to be apart. Milo felt a sudden urge to help. Is there any way I can help you? I don't want you to suffer. Tira looked at him with soft eyes. There may be one way, but it is risky. Milo leaned forward, curious and cautious. Tell me. Tira's voice was low. If I do not bond with another sorority, I may not survive the season. But you are not sorority. Still, your presence affects me. The pheromones I release reach you. Your mind may respond. Milo's pulse quickened. Are you saying I might feel this too? Yes, your feelings may change. Your senses may become sharper. Your thoughts may be confused. Milo looked at his hands. He could feel something strange, like a quiet storm inside. I do feel different. It is hard to focus. Tira nodded. That is why it may be possible for us to bond in some way. It would be unusual, but it might help. Milo frowned. Bond with you? But I am human. Humans and sorority are different, yes, but this situation is unusual. I need connection to survive. You may be the only one here. Milo took a deep breath. What does the bond mean? What will happen? Tira looked away for a moment. If we bond, our minds will link. You will feel my memories, my thoughts, my feelings, and I will feel yours. Milo swallowed. That sounds intense. Can I handle that? No one knows. But the alternative is worse. Milo looked at her steady eyes. He saw no fear, only hope and trust. Okay, he said finally. I want to help. What do I do? Tira stepped closer, still careful to keep some space. We need to be calm, quiet, no sudden movements. Milo nodded. He closed his eyes and took slow breaths. Tira placed her hand in the air between them. Slowly, a soft blue light formed around her fingers. Milo opened his eyes and watched. The light grew brighter and warmer. It may feel strange, Tira warned, but stay focused. Milo reached out carefully. Their fingers almost touched. A pulse of warmth flowed through his hand. Suddenly, Milo saw a flash of images. A bright sun over a desert, tall towers. Faces he did not recognize. He gasped and pulled back. Tira smiled gently. Those are my memories. You saw a glimpse of my home world. Milo shook his head. It was like dreaming, but real. How can you share that? Tira explained. The bond lets us exchange thoughts and memories. It is how we build trust. Milo felt a strange pull toward her. The room seemed smaller and closer. He took a deep breath and reached out again. This time their hands touched firmly. A wave of warmth spread through Milo's body. He felt calm and alert at the same time. Tira's eyes closed as she connected with him. Milo saw more memories of her childhood, her first lessons, the feeling of loneliness. Tira suddenly gasped and opened her eyes. Her skin flashed bright green. It is overwhelming, she said. The bond is strong. Milo nodded. I feel it too. But it is not bad. Tira smiled softly. Good. The bond is healing. They stayed connected for several minutes. Milo saw Tira's past clearly, and she sensed his feelings of fear and hope. Slowly, the glow faded. They pulled their hands apart. Milo sat back, breathing hard. His head felt light, but his heart was full. Tira smiled, her skin a calm silver again. You helped me survive this part. Thank you. Milo looked at her with new respect. Thank you for trusting me. The room felt warmer, but the heaviness was gone. For a moment, they were not just roommates trapped in a small room. They were something new, connected beyond words. But Milo knew the danger was not over. The mating season was still active. The bond might grow stronger, and neither of them knew what the future held. The next morning, Milo woke up feeling different. His body was not tired, even though he had slept for only a few hours. His mind was full of images that were not his own strange places. To suns in the sky, floating cities, and songs made of light. He sat up and looked across the room. Tira was sitting on her bed, watching him with calm eyes. Her skin was glowing a soft blue, and the markings on her arms moved in gentle waves. Good morning, She said, "Good morning." Milo replied. His voice was quiet. He was still thinking about what had happened the night before. They had touched hands, and something powerful had passed between them. It was more than memory. It was feeling, trust, and something deeper. Milo had never experienced anything like it. Tira smiled softly. "You are still thinking about the bond." "Yes," Milo said. "It was strong. I felt your past. I saw your home." Tira nodded. "And I saw yours. The green trees, the sound of ocean waves, the way you laughed with your brother." Milo looked at her, surprised. "You saw that?" "Yes. Only a little. I did not go deep. I did not want to hurt you." Milo nodded slowly. It didn't hurt. It felt strange but peaceful. Tira stood up and walked toward the small table in the middle of the room. That was only the beginning. The first touch. Milo tilted his head. "What do you mean?" Tira looked serious now. "There is a deeper ritual, a true connection. It is the full bond. It will help my body finish the cycle. But it is more intense, more risky." Milo stood as well. "What happens during it? We will not just share memories," Tira explained. "We will feel each other's emotions completely. For a short time, your mind and mine will be as one." Milo felt a chill in his chest. "Is that safe?" "I don't know," Tira said honestly. "No Sarati has ever bonded with a human before. It could help me, or it could be too much for both of us." Milo looked at her for a long moment. Her face was calm, but he could see the truth in her eyes. She was tired. The season was pushing her body to the limit. She needed relief, and he was the only one here. "If we don't try, what happens?" he asked. Tira sat down. Her voice was soft. "My body will start to fail. The wave inside me will keep growing. I will lose control of my thoughts. I may become weak, or even fall into a deep sleep that lasts for days. My mind will fade." Milo felt a strong pull in his chest. He could not let that happen. He had come to the station to learn, to explore, to help, and now someone needed him more than ever. "I'll do it," he said. "Let's try the full connection." Tira looked at him carefully. "Are you sure? It will be intense. You may feel emotions that are not your own. Some may be heavy. I trust you," Milo said. Tira gave a gentle smile. "Then sit with me. We will begin." They sat on the floor across from each other. The room was quiet except for the low hum of the air system. Tira took a deep breath, and Milo followed her lead. "Close your eyes," she said. "Clear your mind." Milo shut his eyes and focused on his breathing, calm and slow. Tira placed her hands over his. Her skin was warm and smooth. A soft light began to glow round them. "You may feel my fear," she said softly. "Do not let it scare you. Just accept it." Milo nodded. Suddenly, waves of emotion flowed through him. At first, it was peaceful. Then came a feeling of deep loneliness, like standing alone in the middle of space. He felt Tira's fear, her long days of silence, her sadness during training, her hope when she first met him. His chest tightened, but he stayed still. "You're strong," Tira whispered. Then Milo felt something new, joy. The first time she had seen earth trees in a photo, her wonder at human music, her quiet happiness when Milo made tea and offered her some without asking anything. Milo smiled. Then it was his turn. Tira's body tensed as she received his memories, his childhood on Earth, the pain of losing his father, the dreams he had when he looked at the stars, his fear of not being enough. He felt Tira's comfort wrap around him like a warm blanket. They sat like that for minutes, maybe hours. Time no longer mattered. Their thoughts were quiet, yet deeply connected. Then slowly, the light faded. The warmth softened. Tira opened her eyes. Milo did the same. He felt calm. Lighter, as if a storm had passed. Tira looked peaceful. Her skin was glowing silver now, with slow, steady patterns. "I feel balanced," she said. "The wave has calmed." Milo gave a small smile. "Are you okay now?" "Yes," she said. "You helped me more than I thought possible." They sat quietly for a moment longer. "Will this bond stay?" Milo asked. "Some part of it will." Tira replied, "We are still ourselves, but now there's a bridge between us." Milo nodded slowly. "I can still feel your presence, like a quiet voice in the back of my mind." Tira smiled. "It will fade over time, but the trust remains." They stood up and stretched. The air felt cleaner. The room no longer felt heavy or warm. Milo looked out the window. Stars sparkled in the dark sky. The moon below looked peaceful. They had survived the hardest part, but Milo knew this story was far from over. There would be questions later. People might notice something different about them, and neither of them knew what the future would bring. But for now, they were safe together. The station lights dimmed slightly as artificial night fell across the habitat. Milo sat near the window, looking out into the stars. Everything outside looked the same, but inside, he felt completely different. He could still feel it as soft presence in the back of his mind. It was not loud or distracting. It was just there, like a quiet voice without words. The bond with Tira was not gone. It had settled into something calm and steady. Across the room, Tira stood near her desk. She looked stronger now. Her skin glowed with a cool silver light, and her movements were no longer tense or shaky. The pressure from the mating cycle had passed, at least for now. Milo turned to her. "How are you feeling?" Tira smiled. "Better. The wave has calmed. My body and mind are steady again." Milo nodded. "That's good. I was worried." "I know." Tira said gently. "I could feel your worry." Milo gave a small laugh. "Right? I keep forgetting you can feel what I feel." "Not always." She explained. "The bond is softer now. We are not fully connected anymore, but the link is still there. It's like standing near a warm fire. I feel it, but it does not burn." Milo sat back. "Will anyone know what happened? I mean, can others detect the bond?" Tira walked slowly to the other side of the room and sat on her bed. "If someone looks closely, maybe. Our energy patterns changed. My biosigns are different now, but it's not easy to detect unless they know what to search for." Milo frowned. "And if they find out?" Tira was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Human and Scifi bonding is not common. Some in the Galactic Council would see it as strange, or even a mistake." "Why?" Milo asked. "It helped you. It didn't harm anyone." Tira looked at him kindly. "Not everyone understands what they fear. Some believe our minds should stay separate. Others think bonds like ours are dangerous." Milo crossed his arms. "That's not fair." "No, it is not," Tira agreed. "But we must be careful, at least for now." They both sat in silence for a while. The quiet hum of the station filled the air. Milo felt tired, not in his body, but in his thoughts. So much had happened in just a few days. He stood and walked toward the small water station. "Do you want tea?" he asked. Tira nodded. "Yes, thank you." As the water heated, Milo looked over his shoulder. What happens next? Will the bond fade completely? Tira shook her head. Not fully. Some part of it will always stay. We shared too much to forget. Milo handed her a warm cup and sat beside her. "Do you regret it?" he asked. Tira sipped her tea slowly before answering. "No. I was afraid at first, but you were kind. You listened. You didn't judge. You gave me trust when I needed it." Milo looked down at his hands. "I didn't know what else to do. I just didn't want to see you hurt." "That was enough," Tira said softly. Later that day, a message came from station control. The lockdown was still active, but communication channels were open. Crew members could now send short reports and check-ins to their supervisors. Milo opened the system and typed a simple status report. Crew quarters 17B, stable. No medical issues. Awaiting release instructions. He left out the details. He didn't know how much to say. The bomb was too personal, and he wasn't ready to explain it to anyone. Tira sent her own message, short and formal. After sending the reports, Milo looked at her. "Do you think the AI knows?" Tira glanced at the ceiling. "Possibly, but it has no reason to report us, unless someone asks specific questions. It will keep the data private." Milo felt a bit better hearing that. The next few days passed quietly. The heavy tension that once filled the room was gone. Tira spent time meditating and reading. Milo returned to his research notes and started organizing his data logs again. But even in the quiet, things had changed. They talked more now, not just about work or science, but about life. Milo told stories from Earth, about rainstorms and street food and camping with his uncle. Tira shared memories from her early days on her homeworld, about glowing forests and schools that taught through music. Each story brought a smile or a laugh. And sometimes they didn't need to speak at all. They would sit near each other and feel calm, knowing they were not alone. On the fourth day, a soft alarm rang through the room. Biohazard threat lifted. All crew may exit quarters. Please report to the main hall for medical checks. Milo stood slowly. The lockdown was over. Tira looked at him with calm eyes. We should act normal. The less we show, the better. Milo nodded. We can do that. They opened the door and stepped out into the hallway. The light felt brighter after so many days inside. Other crew members were already gathering. Some looked tired. A few seemed worried. But most just looked ready to return to normal work. A medic scanned Milo and gave a quick thumbs up. All clear, the man said. You're fine. Then it was Tira's turn. The scanner paused for a moment. Longer than usual. The medic looked at his screen, then at her. Your energy pattern is a bit unusual, he said. Tira gave a small nod. Mating season. My body is still adjusting. The medic didn't question it. Makes sense. No signs of sickness. You're good to go. Milo and Tira walked together down the hallway. That was close, Milo whispered. Tira smiled. We were honest, just not detailed. As they entered the main control area, another crew member glanced at them. It was Corin, a scientist from another wing. He had sharp eyes and a curious mind. Milo had spoken with him only a few times. Corin watched them carefully for a moment. Then he turned away. Milo felt uneasy. Do you think he noticed something? Maybe. Tira said, but he will not say anything yet. Milo didn't like the sound of that word, yet. They had survived the lockdown and the bond. But now, a different kind of challenge might begin. One where silence, trust, and careful steps would matter more than ever. 3 days had passed since the lockdown ended. The station had returned to its usual rhythm. Lights came on at the same time each morning. Crew members moved through the halls with data pads and tools in hand. The labs buzzed quietly with activity. Milo tried to return to his work as normal. He spent time in Lab 3, helping with mineral samples from Velar Prime. He made sure his reports were clean and simple. Nothing too detailed, nothing personal. But he felt different. His focus was better, sharper. His thoughts moved faster, and he noticed things he used to miss. He was calmer during meetings. He understood people's emotions more clearly. It was as if the bond with Tira had opened something inside him. Still, he kept quiet. Tira stayed busy too. She was part of the energy research team, and she worked twice as hard after the lockdown. She didn't talk much to others, but Milo could feel when she was tired or stressed. The bond between them was faint now, but still there, like a thread, running under the surface. One afternoon, Milo walked into the mess hall to grab some food. As he sat down with his tray, he noticed Corin again. The older alien scientist was sitting at a nearby table, sipping dark tea and staring at a tablet. But his eyes lifted just slightly when Milo passed. There it was again. That look, not anger, not kindness, just curiosity. Too much curiosity. Milo tried to ignore it. He finished his meal quickly and left without speaking. Later that evening, he returned to his quarters. Tira was already there, sitting by the window with a small glowing orb in her hand. It pulsed gently, changing colors with her thoughts. He looked at me again, Milo said. Tira didn't turn. Corin. Yes, Milo answered. I think he's suspicious. Tira finally looked at him. Her face was calm, but her eyes were serious. He has always watched others too closely. It is his nature. He does not trust things he cannot explain. Milo sat down across from her. What if he finds out? Then we speak the truth, Tira said softly. We did nothing. Wrong. The bond saved my health. It was not planned. It was necessary. But will others understand that? Milo asked. Tira shook her head slowly. I don't know. Some will. Some may not. The next day, Milo was called to the command room. A message had been sent to station control. He stepped into the clean, quiet space and saw Officer Rena, the human in charge of station operations. Tira was already there. So was Corin. Officer Rena looked up. Milo, Tira, please sit. They sat down. The air felt tense. Corin has raised a concern, Rena said. He believes a non-regulation event occurred during the lockdown. He noticed an unusual energy reading from your quarters. And he believes a mind bond was formed, Milos. Heart sank. Tira remained silent, her face calm. Rena looked at both of them. I need to ask directly. Is this true? Milo opened his mouth, but Tira spoke first. Yes, she said. It is true. A bond formed during the lockdown. It was not planned. It was a response to a health emergency. Rena narrowed her eyes. Explain. Tira spoke clearly. I am Sarati. During mating season, my body enters a state of energy overload. Without bonding, my health would break down. The lockdown kept me trapped. Milo was the only one near. His presence triggered a small bond. We controlled it. We kept it private. Corin crossed his arms. You should have reported it, human. And Sarati minds should not be linked. It is against council guidelines. It is not illegal. Tira said calmly, only uncommon. Rena looked at Milo. Do you confirm her story? Yes, Milo said. She was getting weaker. I offered to help. I didn't understand the full risk at first, but I chose to help her. Rena leaned back in her chair. And you feel no harm from the bond? No, Milo said. It helped. Both of us. I think clearer now. I feel more focused. Corin spoke again. But how do we know it won't grow stronger? What if their minds become too close? What if it affects work or mission control? Tira looked at him. It won't. The bond is stable now, fading. It served its purpose. Rena stayed quiet for a moment. Then she stood. I will report this to Central Command, she said. But for now, I see no reason to take action. You both did what you had to do during a lockdown emergency. Corin looked displeased, but said nothing more. As Milo and Tira left the room, he let out a long breath. That could have gone worse, he said. Tira nodded. It is not over yet. The council may ask more questions later. But at least we're not being punished, Milo added. That night, Milo sat on his bed, thinking. The truth was out now. No more hiding. No more guessing. He didn't know what the council would say next week, next month, or even next year. But deep down, he felt proud. He had done the right thing. He had stood by Tira. She had trusted him when her life was on the edge. He had listened and helped. That trust was real, stronger than any rule book. The station lights dimmed. Milo glanced at Tira, who was quietly reading near the window. She looked up and smiled. We are safe for now, she said. Milo nodded. Whatever came next, they would face it together. A full week had passed since Milo and Tira stood before Officer Rena and explained everything. Life on the station had returned to its normal routine. Crew members moved through labs and corridors like nothing unusual had ever happened. But for Milo and Tira, nothing was the same. Milo sat at his desk in Lab 3, scanning mineral samples and recording notes. His hands moved automatically, but his mind was elsewhere. He still felt the bond, like a soft echo in the back of his thoughts. It no longer distracted him. It felt like a part of him now, quiet and steady. Sometimes during the day, he would feel a flicker of emotion that was not his, calm, thoughtfulness, a sudden burst of curiosity, and he would smile, knowing it came from Tira. Tira, too, had returned to her work. She spent her time studying energy flows and pulse reactors in Lab 6. Her team noticed her focus had improved. She finished tasks faster and solved problems more creatively. They thought she had simply grown more experienced. No one guessed her bond with Milo was the reason. They no longer spoke about the bond openly. Not in public, but in their quarters, when the station lights dimmed and the halls grew quiet. They sometimes talked in low voices. "It's fading slowly," Milo said one night as he lay on his bed. Tira nodded from across the room. "Yes, but a part of it will stay. That's how it works. Once minds touch in that way, something always remains." Milo sat up. "Do you miss it? The stronger part of the bond?" Tira was quiet for a moment. "I don't miss the pressure, but I miss the closeness. It was strange and intense, but also kind. It made me feel seen." Milo smiled. "Same here." They both knew their connection had grown into something more than simple survival. The bond had helped them during the most difficult moment of their lives, but it had also built a bridge between two very different worlds. Days passed, and whispers began to spread. No one knew the full story, but a few curious minds on the station had guessed. Something had happened between the human assistant and the Scifi researcher. A few people spoke in hushed tones in the mess hall. Some found it strange, others were curious, but no one said anything openly. Then, one evening, Officer Rena called Milo and Tira back to the command room. She handed them both sealed messages. "Central Command has reviewed the report." Milo opened his and read slowly. The message was short. The council had decided not to take further action. No punishment, no formal charge, but also no approval. The final sentence was clear. Interspecies mental connections remain outside official regulation. Proceed with caution. Tira closed her message. "They fear what they don't control." Rena gave a small nod. "Perhaps, but they also chose not to stop you. That says something." Milo thanked her and left with Tira. As they walked through the hall, Milo felt a strange sense of freedom. The truth was out. They were no longer hiding, and no one had stopped them. Back in their quarters, Tira stood by the window, staring out at Velar Prime. "I've been thinking," she said. Milo looked up. "About what?" "I don't want to return home yet," Tira said quietly. "I was planning to leave after this cycle, but now I think I want to stay." Milo blinked. "You do?" Tira turned to face him. "Yes, there is more to learn here, and more to understand, especially about you, about your kind." Milo smiled. "That would make me happy." Tira stepped closer. "Would it be strange if I said I don't want the bond to disappear completely?" "No," Milo said. "Not strange at all." The next day, they both met with the Science Council on the station. Tira requested a long-term research role. Milo offered to support a project studying peaceful interactions between species. Together, they proposed a small side project on emotional and cognitive links between different beings. The council listened, curious but cautious. After 2 days of review, the project was accepted as a trial, not official yet, but allowed to move forward. And just like that, something new began. Weeks turned into months. Milo and Tira worked together often. Their bond continued to fade, but the trust between them grew stronger. They learned how to understand each other without needing to speak much. Their friendship became a quiet part of life on the station. Other crew members began to notice. Some came to ask questions. One human researcher asked Milo how he stayed so focused. A Scifi trainee asked Tira how she remained calm under pressure. Neither gave full answers, but both gave simple truths: listen to others, stay present, and learn from what you don't understand. One evening, while watching the stars through the observation dome, Milo turned to Tira. "Do you think more people could bond like we did?" he asked. Tira thought for a moment. "Maybe. Not everyone is ready, but maybe one day." Milo looked back at the stars. "It started because we were trapped, but I'm glad it happened." Tira smiled softly. "So am I." Their story did not become famous. It did not appear in any official record or report, but it passed quietly from one person to another, shared in soft voices, not with fear, but with wonder. Some called it strange, others called it beautiful, and somewhere, deep in the quiet of space, a human and an alien shared something rare. A bond that was not about survival alone. A bond built on trust, understanding, and something greater than rules. It was more than an accident. It was more than a moment. It was a beginning. The end.